Why, hello everyone. Well, it's been a while, hasn't it? Because I was not here last week. I was actually at EuroFurence in Hamburg, Germany. So, yeah, it was my first ever furry convention and it was a lot of fun. And I am planning to, yeah, talk your guys' ears off about it. So, yeah, okay. So I did check all of the redeems and such should be working properly again. Yeah, it looks like it's redeemable on my end again, so that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, so yeah, EuroFurence. So that's what I'll be talking about on this stream. I should warn you guys, however, I will be mostly speaking out of character. By which I mean, okay, so normally whenever I stream, I play the character of Bradford Bottlenose, a dolphin with an officer job who plays video games in his free time. So yeah, a lot of that is going to, not apply to this stream because, well, here's the thing, I cannot really talk about the convention without, actually talking about, yeah, from my normal, usual perspective. So, yeah, that's why. So, yeah, you'll be hearing more of me talking as real life me compared to, me as a Bradford, although I shall still be referring to myself as Bradford on the stream. So, yeah. Okay, but I am going to, have a game on in the background while I play, so yeah. And fittingly, I'm going to be playing some Euro Truck Simulator. Even more fittingly, let me just, hit drive. That's right. I am actually, very fittingly, starting in Hamburg. So yeah. Okay. Now that I have the map open, I can also talk, I can start talking. So. EuroFurence. Okay, so for context, in real life, I live in this country here, the Netherlands, which is also where the joke comes in about Bradford really liking the Netherlands as a country. So yeah, I'm from here-ish. I'm not going to point out specifically where. I could be from anywhere in this little country. One of the smaller countries of Europe, as you can see. So yeah. So I had to go from somewhere in the Netherlands all the way to Hamburg, and that was about a 6-hour drive. So yeah. Now that I talked about that, let me actually find a job to take from Hamburg. Because, yes, I am going to be, just playing while, yeah, having you guys watch. Um, hmm. No, I kind of went in that direction already last time, so, I suppose I will be delivering some tires to, Italy or something, sure. Really wish there were longer jobs. Oh well, this'll have to do. I know I could go to Bulgaria, but I think I did it on the last stream, so yeah. Going from Germany to Italy, sure thing. Okay, so. Long drive to, from my home in the Netherlands to Hamburg, Germany. It was an exhausting trip, let me tell you. So we arrived at the hotel eventually. I should let you know, because this was my first ever convention, I did have my parents with me. They wanted to chaperone me for my first ever convention, so yeah, they were here this year. Next year I'll be going alone. So, we made it to Hamburg after like 6 hours. And we found the parking garage near the hotel. It was a ridiculously cramped parking garage. Very cramped, like there were pipes just running alongside the walls. The ceiling was low, the walls were close together. It was not fun. In fact, it was kind of scary being in there inside of the car. So yeah, we parked. We made our way to the hotel because somehow we parked. There was also like one lane for everything, for going in and out. So Yeah. Definitely the parking garage of hell, if you ask me. So, we parked. We took the elevator up to the lobby of the hotel. So we went to check in. Staff member told us we're at the wrong branch of the hotel. The one we need is next door. And also the parking garage we were parked in was the wrong one. So yeah. We had to make our way out of the parking garage of hell. So that's fun. So, we were close to, like, several people were, like, trying to get us out of there, and meanwhile, so, I have a buddy who, spent most of the con with me. He goes by Slavor online. Really nice guy from Poland. So. He was wondering, hey, are you there yet? You told me you were, like, arriving a few minutes ago. And I was like, yeah, we ended up in the wrong parking garage. So, much to the frustration of my mum, Dad was giving directions poorly, as it tends to go. So yeah, very frustrating. We eventually made our way back to the parking garage's gate. It didn't open. Yeah, it refused to open. So that was fun. So Dad got out to, ask around about it. Oh my gosh, this is a bit of a tight squeeze, isn't it? So yeah, he got out of the car. Sure, fine. So a while later, after while standing there, while Dad was out of the car, garage door opened. So yeah, he had to like run after us, so he was still able to leave the garage. So yeah, we had to drive in a whole circle around the city in order to actually get to the garage next door, because there was a one-way road. So we did eventually park, and thankfully this garage had a lot more space inside of it, so yeah. So we checked in. I let my friend know that we had successfully checked in. I had gotten my stuff to my room. And then we decided to, sit and wait in like the cafeteria area. So I was waiting for my friend to arrive, and so Slaver would eventually indeed arrive. Actually, I think his name's pronounced Slavor. I'm not entirely sure. I always say Slavor because sounds funny. So he and another friend of mine, Don Dear Dan, henceforth I shall just refer to him as Dan, arrived at the hotel. So the first thing I did the moment I saw him was run up to him and give him a hug, because, hoo boy, this meeting had been a few years in the making, and we were both really excited to finally meet each other. So yeah, I treated him to a drink, my treat. It was very fun. So, there's a bit of a story involving a certain place in Italy. I'm not going to mention which place it is, because it's a place where another friend of mine lives. So, he's been to that place once, and he tried drawing, the plaza he was at, but it took so long he kind of just, like, burned his rear because he was sitting on pavement that had been in the sun for way too long. So, yeah. So I had a little gift and it's a little prank, because people love to send pictures of that plaza. I had printed out a picture of it and given it to him as a gift. Many laughs were had from both him and Dan. So don't worry, no bad blood as a result. So, yeah. That happened. He called me a devil for what I did, but it was completely worth it. He actually kept it in his wallet, so I think he did still appreciate the gift. So, I also learned just how much Dan prepares for trips abroad. Like, I would say his backpack is like magical, because he fits so much stuff inside, like for example, first aid kit, umbrella, that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's a reason for that, which I shall not disclose, because I do want to give my friends some privacy. I'm mostly going to be talking about important stuff with them. Well, except for Slavor, he's been with me for like most of the convention, so yeah. So, we sat there, we were chatting a bit. So eventually we decided, okay, you know what? We're going to show you where the convention center is, and it's just a straight walk from, like a straight 20-30 minute walk from where we are. So we walked all the way to the CCH, the conference center in Hamburg. Big building. There are already people in the fursuits outside, just cosplaying and hanging out before. Well, the convention was actually starting the day after because I had arrived on Tuesday. The convention wouldn't start until Wednesday. So yeah. So I actually took a picture with one fursuiter. My very first time, like taking a picture with someone in fursuit. Also, I got to hug them, so that was fun. And it's like super adorable because these people like to roleplay in character sometimes, and it's cute. And they are pretty damn good at it as well. Now, as for me, I don't have a fursuit yet. I'm actually planning to get get a head. Well, that's a dolphin with a hero mask that's removable, and also get a glasses prop so I can switch between Bradford and Turbulence. I do, however, have a replica of Turbulence's spandex costume. Now, for those who don't know, Turbulence is my persona in superhero mode. It's the big muscular dolphin superhero you see occasionally on stream. So yeah, there's that. Oh, speaking of, I better quickly disable a certain a certain redeem. Where is it? Yeah, this one. I'm going to be disabling the Turbulence Takeover redeem for now. Reason being, I kinda can't play Turbulence while I'm talking about this, so yeah. So, we made our way back, we took a selfie together, the three of us, me, Slavor, and Dan. So most of the rest of the day was just spent at the hotel, but we did go out and get Korean food. Very first time ever Korean, it was amazing. So yeah. But before that I did of course have to, like, say goodbye to Slavor and Dan for a while. I will be seeing them the next day on Wednesday. So, yeah. So, Wednesday did eventually come, and because a lot of people go to a convention like this, like there were more than 9,000 people. Yeah, the registration line was long. So yeah, welcome to LineCon, everyone. We have lines for days. So yeah, me and my parents spent the morning looking around the St. Pauli area, and it was well, let's just say it was a bit of a sketchy neighborhood. Didn't really feel comfortable walking around there. Lots of graffiti on the walls, people looking rather unhygienic, not very well dressed. Narrow roads, lots of skull imagery from the football club that makes it its home. So yeah, at breakfast, at lunch, English breakfast at the hotel, by the way, yummy yummy. Welcome back. Hello, Multiverse, good to see you again. I'm just talking about my very first ever convention today, so yeah. So yeah, midday came, me and Slavor agreed to meet at the hotel. He picked me up, and we walked back to the venue, just chatting about stuff, various things. Now, I got to be honest, I was a little bit worried about wearing my costume there because of a certain, let's say, area of my body being pretty visible, so I bought a dance belt to hide it a bit better. Okay, to make a long story short, I never had to worry about that, thankfully. As for Slavor, he was dressed in a fancy suit and he had a fursuit hat, because that's what his fursona typically dresses like. So, yeah. So, we eventually made our way to the park near the convention center, because the line was so long, it basically started at the park. So, yeah. About an hour of waiting later, I think, We eventually did get to register. We also met some cool people on the way. Also a lot of Dutch people, actually. Like, there's people from all over that go to a convention like that. So, yeah. So, Slavor, the absolute champ that he is, showed me around the building, showed me what's what. Eventually, I got changed into the fursuit at the fursuit lounge. I was pretty much allowed inside there, despite not having a fursuit head myself. Actually, that'll become relevant later as well. So yeah, guy next to me, this friendly German guy, he was very curious about my costume, so I told him about who Turbulence is, and yeah, needless to say, I may just so happen to have a potential new reader for my comic, because I shared my comic with him. So yeah. So we got out there, and I did not even feel silly for wearing that costume, because here's the thing, right? At an event like that, you can just unashamedly look silly wearing a costume, because everyone does. Well, almost everyone. So yeah. We did various things. Okay, let's see. So I met up with my friend Dusty, who was also going to the convention, and yeah, this cool Ringmaster-esque costume, it looked incredible. Very extravagant. He was also incredibly friendly, although he does like to pretend he's disappointed with you all the time, because that's just who he is. He's a fun guy. So yeah. We chatted with him a bit while we were waiting for me to get registered, so yeah. So we did eventually meet up with Dan again, and we went looking around the venue. Lots of fun, lots of pictures taken with people in costume as well. In fact, one person was even wanted to get a picture with me in my costume. So I did eventually, like, change out of it, because we did have to go have dinner. We went to this small Asian place, which my friend Slavo really liked, with one of his other friends. So I got this noodle dish with fried chicken slices on it, and that's when me and Slavo both discovered, oh, we both hate mushrooms. Yay, we agree on something. Mushrooms are the worst. Sheesh, I should take a sip of water. So yeah. Slavo also discovered I don't really like to eat my vegetables, so yeah, there's that as well. So we made our way back to the venue for a while. Spent quite a few more hours hanging out. We found this nice rooftop area where we also took some pictures, and we discovered that year's guest of honor had set up a tent on the roof, because that's typically where they tend to go. So yeah. Excuse me. Okay, what else did I do on that day? Okay. So eventually time came to go back. I had actually not let my parents know I was heading back yet. So yeah. My mom did eventually get worried, although I did not catch that message until I actually got back to the hotel. Now, the walk back did take a while, because what was it again? Was it that day, or I think it was that very day, actually, yeah. So we took a longer walk back because, okay, so there's a fun fair close to my hotel that frequently stops there. So yeah, Slavo had never been to a fun fair before, so he was just looking around, taking it all in, all the pretty lights and such. Lots of fun seeing him geek out about all of that. So yeah, very nicely lit up and such, but also incredibly noisy. So yeah. Now, Slavo did tell me to be honest about that, so I was honest about it, of course. And he did let me borrow his noise-cancelling headphones for a bit. Yeah, those definitely make a difference. So he was looking around, and he was like, okay, you know what? I gotta bring my Polaroid camera, and we should come here again. And I was like, sure. So, we eventually made it back to the hotel, got a bit of an earful from my mum, because I did not let her know about when I was coming home. She felt like I was suddenly growing up very fast. Which, I mean, take the hint, I'm 31. So, I went to bed and, yeah, let's just say my feet were pretty tight, and the next morning my feet still hurt, especially my left one, because... Okay, for context, I have a bad left foot. If I stand on it or walk on it for too long, it'll eventually start seriously hurting. I have a bit of a problem with one of my toes, where it doesn't grow entirely straight, and yeah, I actually have special soles for that. My spandex costumes boots do not have those soles. But even with the soles in my normal shoes, that still end up really seriously hurting. So yeah. So, next day came around. So yeah, was picked up by my friend again. Wait, no, this is first day we're talking about. No, we agreed to meet halfway at that point. He told me he wasn't doing too good. So, yeah. So, we walked back to the venue, as per the usual. Got into costume. So yeah, did a lot of hanging out. There were like several things to see around the venue, aside from just the fursuiters. There was like this ball pit for some reason. There was also the various panels that opened up on first day, so those were also a place you could check out. What else? Okay, yeah. So for certain events that were opening up, like the dealer's den on first day, there was already a massive line. My friend Slavor did want to catch that, but unfortunately did not get the opportunity that day because the line had become so long. They eventually decided, okay, you can stop queuing now. Everything's gone, everything's closed. So yeah. Okay, but we did hang out until like the afternoon on that day. So me and Slavor decided to go grab some sushi from the best place he knew with fresh sushi, namely a supermarket. Yeah. So there was this supermarket which had fresh but really good sushi. So he walked there with me. He was definitely still kind of suffering because, well, he was somewhat, he was a bit, I'm not sure, he had a migraine going on. He took medication for that. Sometimes his migraine medication just doesn't work, and yeah, that was one of those days. Okay, so we sat down, we decided to have, lunch together. I could not really enjoy the sushi that easily, however, because, okay, so, Hamburg, and honestly a big chunk of Germany, does not have flies. You might be thinking, okay, but Bradford, that's a good thing. If there's no flies, then you won't be bothered by the flies. And that's true. However, the problem being, it has wasps. Lots and lots and lots of wasps. Yeah. Now, you might remember from my Fallout New Vegas streams that I am deathly terrified of wasps, which is why I modded the Castors out of that game. So yeah. We sat down, we are constantly being attacked by wasps. Very fun. Not. So yeah. Oh, I'm talking out of order again. I'll get back to the sushi in a bit. Okay, so. Before we, went before we went to have lunch, we actually went to a nearby park to do some photo shoots. So yeah. Slavor in his nice dapper suit with his fursuit head, of course. Me striking some cool poses in my spandex costume. Very fun. But that's also where the wasps started to actually show up, so yeah. Not very fun. My friends had to, like, quote unquote protect me from them. And that's what. And now back to the sushi. That's exactly what Slaver spent a lot of the time doing. Like, he finished his food pretty quickly. Not sure how he did that. It's sushi. It's incredibly filling. So yeah, we're sitting down for a bit because eventually we had to move somewhere else. Because yeah, the wasp would just not leave us alone. But yeah, Slaver was there. He was chasing them off. He was teaching me a little trick to keep myself calm. So that was nice. So I finished my food. We went to find a quiet place to sit down, and he told me, "Okay, I need to go to the hotel room. I need to go back now." It was like, you can tell your parents, like, plans have changed, you're not feeling good, you want to go back to the hotel. And that was most certainly an option, yes. However, one of the reasons I wanted to go to my first ever furry convention, and I initially wanted to go alone, was because I wanted to be a little more independent. So I told him, after a lot of thinking, okay, no, I'm going to stay here. If I want to be more independent, I can't depend on you every single time either. And he agreed. So he went back to the hotel. I looked around a bit, and that's when all of the noise suddenly started flowing into my brain, because, yeah, without my body around, suddenly everything felt much more crowded somehow and much more noisy. So yeah, that was not very fun. Now, thankfully, they do have quiet rooms at the convention. I was actually shown by my buddy where these rooms are. So I sat down in there. Well, let me tell you, the quiet room was not quiet at all. There was this annoying buzz of the light on the ceiling. Absolutely horrible. Like, backrooms type of kind of shit. So, yeah. And there was also this guy resting in a lawn chair who was snoring. Like, snoring like a fucking chainsaw. It was not fun. Good boy. So I sat there, and after 15 minutes I was like, okay, the quiet room is too noisy somehow, I am getting out of there. So I wandered around a bit, I checked the schedule, because there was a schedule both on the website and in the con book. And I did see a listing for a hypnothermite panel. So, yeah. Now, as you might remember from the one time I streamed Splatoon 3, I do have a slight interest in hypnotism. So I was like, okay, this might be interesting. So I went there, sat down there, talked to some guys to make sure it was the hypnothermite, because here's the thing, right? It was labeled correctly on the website, but in the con book it was mislabeled as something else entirely. So yeah, they told me, yes, this is the hypnothermite. It was actually pretty noisy, very small room as well. So yeah, people did not expect the hypnothermite to be that noisy, but it was. So, alright. So I sat down, and this guy, who I was talking to for a bit, decided to sit down next to me to talk with me a bit more. And he talked about all various lucid dreams that he had, and how many times he experienced hypnotism, that kind of stuff. I myself have struggled to, like, I've tried self-hypnosis before, it just didn't work out for me. So yeah. I eventually discovered the guy is Dutch, just like me. So yeah, we exchanged contact information, we're still talking. So I can say I made my first friend at the convention. So yeah, we eventually decided to step out, because surprisingly it was way too damn noisy in that room. However, I also saw on the schedule that that on the stage, on one of the foyers, they will be holding a improv hypno show. So I decided, okay, I'm going to check that out. And my buddy was also, no, not my buddy, my new friend I met there. I'm going to call him Emerald, because that's what he calls himself. That's his persona's name, I think. So me and Emerald, we sat down there next to each other. Although at first I sat down behind him, but I approached because I felt safer that way. So yeah. Show started, they did some very fun little mind games to show that everyone is open to suggestions, no one's immune to hypnosis. So yeah, eventually there was this one person, and she needed volunteers for her segment of the show. And guess who was actually called to stage? So yeah, Emerald told me, well, have fun. So I sat down. So yeah, I wasn't gonna be anxious because I have stage fright. So, at first we were told to close our eyes, me and the other volunteers. And then she would tell us, okay, now I'm going to be placing a heavy rock in your left hand. And then when I later on opened my eyes, sure enough, my left hand was a bit lower than my right hand. So yeah, that was crazy. So then the next trick came. And she told us, okay, close your eyes and just imagine a library of all of your memories from the convention, from what you did yesterday, from what you did last week. And eventually she was like, okay, at the core of it, there's just one important memory. So, yeah. Eventually she walked up to, like, each of the volunteers and she asked, may I have your name, please? So we all said our names. Okay, she was like, okay, I'm going to take that from you. So then, this might surprise you, but I actually didn't properly remember my name. It actually required effort to remember my real name, because, surprise, surprise, my name in real life is not actually Bradford. So yeah. Although hilariously, when she asked me, what's your name, I actually did say Bradford first, before actually saying my real name, and everyone else was also struggling to, they also needed a little longer to actually get their names right, and yeah. So, okay. That was fun, so we opened our eyes, and yeah, we're suddenly back at the convention center. Imaginary library was gone. So yeah. So, eventually that show did come to an end. Slavor was feeling a lot better, so I met back up with him. He sat down somewhere quiet with me. That was not the quiet room, because screw the quiet room, it's not quiet at all. It's a room of lies. So yeah, he brought me some cookies as a snack. I still have to open the packaging. Sorry, Slaver. I am saving them for a good moment. So yeah, aside from that, he also got me some Pokemon cards. They are all in Japanese for some reason. Not sure why they are selling Japanese Pokemon cards in Germany. But yeah. I just put them off to the side because I don't really do a lot with Pokemon anymore. But I still appreciated the gesture. So, yeah. We sat down and talked for a bit, and... Okay, so... We decided to make our way to his hotel room, because that morning I told him, okay, so I heard construction noises coming from the fun fair. I think they're tearing things down. So yeah, that on top of everything else kinda made things a little worse, so we checked, we looked out the window and we saw the fun fair brightly lit, everything was fine. I was like, okay, don't forget to bring your Polaroid camera. Okay, so there's no joke here, he actually did bring his Polaroid camera. So yeah, we went there again, I once again borrowed his noise-cancelling headphones. He took pictures with the thing, including me taking one of him. Very fun. So yeah. So, this time I did let my mum know, oh, I'm going to be walking back with Slavor because he wanted to take pictures of the fun fair with his Polaroid camera. So, yeah, we did that. So eventually he brought me back to the hotel, gave me a hug before I went inside. My feet were killing me. Yeah. It was not fun. It actually hurt to, walk and stand around. So yeah. That was fun. Not. So yeah, I just took a shower and I crashed straight into bed. I was like, okay, I'm not doing anything else for the rest of the evening. So next day came, it was a Friday, which was my final day at the convention. Okay, so me and Slavor agreed to meet halfway again, but because of reasons yeah, it took a while, basically until the afternoon almost. So yeah, I had to spend time with my parents, and that was slowly driving me crazy just sitting there in the hotel room with them. Eventually, I just decided, okay, sorry, Slavor, I'm going to have to ask you to wake up because I cannot take this anymore. I have to come see you. So yeah, we met halfway again. The dealer then was also opening again that day, and he did want to check it out. So yeah. We woke together. I profusely apologized for waking him up prematurely. He said it was fine. He kept saying it was things were fine whenever I apologized, but I do have a tendency to apologize a lot. So yeah. So we made our way back, got in the line for the dealers then, and okay. It sure is a good thing some of our friends, showed up eventually, because we were standing in that line for a good 1 hour and a half. I'd actually considered, like, what you call it? I'd actually considered going to the Dutch fur meet as well there. But okay, so look, all this has happened. Things are just going to be told a little out of order. So this old friend of mine from Belgium, who I spoke to like tens of years ago, he was also going to EF, and I actually met up with him there, both in and out of suit. So yeah, he did eventually tell me, like, okay, so I did also consider going to the Dutch fur meet, but it was too loud and too Dutch. So we were both like, no thanks. Because, I just cannot handle immense amounts of noise. So yeah. As well as loud noises. Cannot stand the damn things. So yeah. So we're standing there in line. Eventually, we did see Dan and Dusty because they saw us standing in line together. Lots of noise, lots of talking, lots of waiting, lots of standing around on my sore legs. My legs were killing me. So yeah, it was fun. I did get to sit down briefly. So eventually the dealers then did open, but not before a lot of terrible things happened around us, like loud noises, the worst of all being some furries going 6-7, and Slaver joining in on that. He's the only person who I think can say that without me getting annoyed. I mean, I'll still get a little bit annoyed, but not as much as when other people do it. I also told him a joke of saying 7-6 to kill the joke and doing the hand gesture upside down. It didn't work because he had backup, unfortunately. So, eventually we did make it to the dealers then. Incredibly crowded, lots of things for sale. I did actually get the 30th anniversary coin because... Okay, so one reason there were so many people this year was because there was the 30th anniversary of EuroFurence. So yeah. I got me that coin, nice little souvenir to, remember the convention by. Very fun. So yeah, Slaver actually got a tail to go with his fursuit head, a blue one that's in exactly his color. So that's fun. Various things for sale there, including an inflatable dolphin. Also fun. Oh, hang on, gotta take care of the spam bot. There we go. Okay, so, yeah. Okay, where was I? I was taking care of the spam bot. Anything? Okay, yeah. He was on inflatable dolphin at one point during the convention. There was one for sale as well, but it had a certain thing about it. Not to mention, a lot of things that were expensive, and I only had like 70 euros in cash. And I did pay Slave War back for, the things he did for me, so a large chunk of that went to him. Okay, so he had to go meet with a friend that day, so yeah. Once again, I was just walking around alone. I had some lunch at the convention center. Did some looking around. Eventually, he was like, okay, I'm meeting up with you. Where are you? So I told him where I was. Also spent, before that, I also spent some time in costume. Actually met up with a guy in a blue fursuit, and we both took a picture together because we were both blue. So yeah, that's fun. So yeah, I met up with him, and I was like, okay. As thanks for everything you did, me and my parents had invited Slavor for dinner. So yeah, we decided to take it to the Korean place. He was really excited about that because he never had Korean before and had never seen a Korean barbecue grill in real life. So yeah, he was like, okay, yes, absolutely, I'm going to come with you then. We arranged the time. So yeah, we had to walk back so we could make that time. So we were on our way back, and I started tearing up because, I was not going back to the convention center, and yeah, things were emotions were starting to hit because I knew that later that evening I will be saying goodbye to my buddy. So yeah, I did say goodbye to my other friends at the convention, but this one stung the most because I had spent most of my time with Slave War around me. So yeah, he was like, "Okay, don't worry, just let it out if you have to. This is completely normal." So indeed, we yeah, made our way to the hotel, met up with my parents. We had dinner there. He made a super good impression on my parents, by the way. Slave was a really nice and friendly guy. He was also incredibly surprised at just how much I can eat, because I'm a big eater. He himself, however, because he's from Poland, not exactly the most wealthy country, and because he's also, a university student, he tends to survive on very little food each day. So yeah, he had just got a one serving, like one serving of food separately from us. I was able to finish just about the entire seafood platter I got. He was just like, how? How do you do that? So I told him, I'm just a big eater. So yeah. So afterwards, we made our way back to the hotel, and I told my yeah, my parents, okay, I'm going to be walking slave war back to the convention. I'll be fine. I'll be heading back on my own. So yeah, in reality, I just want to walk him back because I want to spend a little more time with him. Yeah. So I was trying to hold back tears at that point in time because, it was almost time to say goodbye to my, yeah, to my buddy. So yeah, we talked about things. He told me about how postcon depression is a completely normal thing, and that's what I'm feeling now. And honestly, I didn't expect to be feeling that so soon. Like the day wasn't even over yet, and I was already feeling it. So, 20-30 minute walk back to the convention center. I looked Slaver in the eyes while we were still somewhere away from the noise, and I started sobbing, and I might have hugged him for like, what, a minute? I was just standing there, and he was like, "It's okay, Bradford, just let it all out." I was seriously sobbing, and I told him so many things. I said thank you. I said I'm going to miss you so much. Fuck, sorry, I need a moment. Yeah, I just couldn't thank him enough for everything he did, and I was like, You know, Slayboy, you're my best friend. I know I shouldn't pick favorites, but you're making it so damn difficult. And yeah, we just stood there for a while, just talking and hugging, that kind of stuff. Eventually, I told him, okay, it's time to go. And I made my way back to the hotel, and while it was probably coincidence, suddenly things started to line up perfectly. Yeah, they're just looking, listening, or working here. Okay, that's good. That's fine. Yeah. Glad to have you in here, Jindal. So yeah. Things lined up perfectly, like the traffic light that kept giving an early red light, the pedestrian traffic light. It didn't on my way back. Like, I somehow just easily avoided all the trash lying on the ground. I somehow made it back in 20 minutes instead of the usual 30. And I didn't even feel like I walked that fast. So, yeah. I told Slaver about that on the phone, and he was like, Brad, you're overthinking it, you're just running on pure emotion right now. So yeah, I made it back to the hotel, I was talking to my parents, and I was crying, of course. Had some coffee, eventually went to bed, had already started packing some things. Eventually cried myself to sleep because it's a weird feeling. I was so happy to have done this and to have met my friends, but at the same time, I was incredibly sad to, for all of it to end. So yeah. So next day, my parents were going to drop me off in Groningen, which is a city in the north of the country. I had to take like a 4-hour train trip to my hometown, with like 2 transfers in between. Okay, so here's the thing, right? After that long and harrowing drive of a few hours, I had to pee. I seriously had to pee. There was a small train station. There were no toilets there. Eventually, you know, yeah, parted ways with my parents because they were going to the Formula 1 Grand Prix in Zandvoort. So, yeah. Eventually, the train arrived, I got into the train, and I hurried to the toilet, the only toilet on that train. I pressed the button to open it. The voice coming from the toilet. The toilet is defective. So yeah, it was out of order. So I was like, fuck. So I sat down there, couldn't even drink anything because I had to pee. Nearly an hour later, somehow I managed to hold it all in. My first transfer stop, I hurried to the toilet as quickly as I could with my trunk with me because I was not leaving that alone somewhere. I saw out of order signs everywhere. Now, the good news is, there were just a few things there that were out of order. The toilets were fine. They worked. So, yeah. Did my business, because I really had to. Oh boy. So yeah. Carried back, got on the train. So yeah, few transfers later, and I did eventually make my way back home. So yeah. My brother picked me up, and when I had arrived home, at this point my feet really wanted to murder me, by the way. My brother had chores ready for me. I told him, oh. And in my brain I was like, I hate you so fucking much, my feet are about to murder me. So yeah. Thankfully, I managed to hold out, but after that I had to sit down. I couldn't even get up anymore. My legs were so sore. So yeah. Let my parents know I arrived home safely, that kind of stuff. So yeah. So, here's the plans going forward. I'm going again next year, because this went great. It went amazingly. I'm going to go without my parents this time. I'm going to be meeting with my friends there, most likely. I plan to get a fursuit head. of my first persona. It's going to be a dolphin head with a removable hero mask, and I'm also going to get a glasses prop for it. I'm finally going to complete Bradford's outfit in real life, because I only have it partially. I only have a black necktie and a red dress shirt, and some black jeans, but no proper dress pants. So yeah, we'll get that sorted. Good beans and such. So yeah. There were also certain panels I wanted to check out, but couldn't, like the inflatable panel. Because I want to take pictures for my friend Siren, aka Inflatofin. You might know him, I've collabed with him before on this channel. So yeah, fun. Like I also learned I missed the aquatic first panel and the rare species meetup. So those are things I would definitely want to check out next year. So yeah. I really hope to see all my friends again there next year. Because Akarim, the guy from Belgium, was a lot of fun. Slavor, of course, he was a lot of fun to hang out with. He was my buddy for the convention. I can't thank him enough for everything he did for me. Dusty and Dan, they were also very nice. Hopefully I'll see all of them again. Although I gotta keep my eyes out for the dates, because I'll have to be quick on the draw when it comes to reserving a hotel room. Because the moment the dates are known, yeah, those places fill up quickly. So yeah. Now, Hamburg is a large city and there's a lot of hotels, but I would like to get one closer to the venue. Not directly next to it. I do still want to catch some sleep at night. And I would still prefer to room on my own, unless Vanga's going there next year. Then I wouldn't mind rooming with him because he's my boyfriend. So yeah. Like, if absolutely necessary, maybe I'll room with Slavor, but we'll have to see. Preferably, I'd like to get my own room at the hotel. Hang on, taking a sip of water. Okay, where's the nearest rest stop? I don't like nighttime driving in this game. Oh, I passed the one a minute ago. Oops. Oh, we're not having a rest stop for a while. I have to make my way to Verona or something then. Shit. Well, oops. There we go, making a little detour. Okay, this will take me places, but okay. So yeah. Made a lot of good memories. I was worried I might be incredibly overwhelmed going to a furry convention, especially one with over 9,000 people. Like Slavor told me, there's doing things right, and then there's going overboard, and you definitely went overboard, Bradford, what are you doing? But I'm still very glad I went, because, yeah, I finally got to meet several of my online friends there. I can easily say they are my real friends now. Suck it, Dad. Online friends are real friends. So, yeah. But I would like to get a hotel closer to the venue, because I did book my hotel pretty late. So, yeah. Yep, indeed, it's very funny. They are real animal people / friends. Indeed. Let's not forget the fact that my own dad got backstabbed by his real friends, but ended up betraying him some way or another eventually. So yeah, the fact I've not had that happen as much with my online friends just go to show that, yes, online friends are real friends. So yeah. Also, it started raining. We actually had quite a bit of rain during my time in Hamburg, but also it meant it wasn't too hot to be walking around in costume. Although, whenever I was in costume, I was wearing nothing but spandex. And that's a very breathable material, but it also meant that while we were outside, it was incredibly chilly. So yeah. That's not as fun, maybe. But still. Oh, thunderstorm. Kinda scary driving at night while a thunderstorm is going on. Ugh. So yeah. I also learned that, like, going to the toilet in spandex is a struggle. Like, as I said, I was wearing not just underwear, but a dance belt under it. And, well, I do have a zipper on my spandex costume. I did actually have to, you know, pull down the dance belt and the underwear somehow to actually be able to, yeah, go. Trying to make this sound as not weird as possible. So, yeah. Thankfully, I only had to do this once, and every time I felt like I had to go to the toilet, I would quickly get out of costume in the fursuit lounge, and yeah. Although, there was one point where I almost wasn't allowed in the fursuit lounge, and was only allowed in because Slaver told me, oh, don't worry, he's my handler. So, yeah. Or at least that won't be a problem next year if I do indeed get my head. So, yeah. I wonder if I'll be meeting some more of my friends there next year, because some of my other friends went, but we never got a chance to meet up, so yeah. One particular person came to mind, and he was kinda sad I left early, but that was the agreement I made with my parents, who weren't going for the entire duration of the convention. So yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we will meet again, and I will be meeting more of my friends there. So yeah. Oh, and each year they have a different theme going on for the convention. I don't care about the theme. I only really cared about, you know, meeting my friends and having a good time with them. But also interacting with the theme is completely optional. It mostly only really has to do with the decorations at the venue. Otherwise, you can just do whatever you want when it comes to the costume. Your costume does not have to necessarily fit the theme. Like, people will comment on it if it does, but yeah. What else? Thinking. Okay. Okay, let's see. I think I talked about the important talking points. But yeah, there's one thing I learned from going to the convention. Well, multiple things actually. First things first. Do have someone to hang out with, because going to a convention solo is not fun. Not at all. Secondly, if you are easily overstimulated, do bring something like a noise-cancelling headset. Do not bring noise-cancelling. Do not bring earplugs, because those can leave residue in your ears. I had nothing, and I went in. It was mostly fine, but eventually it became too much. I'm used to attending FurCon solo. Ah, I see. How does that tend to go? So when I try to go with friends. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I had a buddy for most of the convention, so that made it more bearable for me. Okay, thirdly, one of my friends told me, the first time you go, you might end up rather overstimulated, but it does get better with every convention, and the post-con depression also gets less bad every year. It's the worst on its first year. I just shoot up a roam around. Ah, okay, cool. Also, finally, I'll have to find a fursuit maker to make my fursuit head. My aunt offered to make it, but I kinda want mine to be made by professional. Sure, it's going to be a few thousand, but yeah, a few thousand, because I'm only getting the head. Oh, come on, that was a yellow light. But yeah, I would like to have one. I would like to find someone who can make it as soon as possible, because I don't want to be, you know, late with that. Because ideally, right? Ideally, it'll take a few months for a fursuit head to get made. It can also take 8 if you're doing it if you're doing it yourself and it's your very first time doing that. It really depends on the maker, I guess. So yeah. But I'm pretty sure I'll have a lot of fun next year. I have not been recognized by anyone, and I've not seen a lot of popular furries around either. Like, I think I've seen Ben 300 and that's it. But yeah, I'm there for my friends, so it's fine. It's fine. Oh, now the lights are blinking. Okay. Now, blinking lights in Europe means the traffic lights are not working at the moment, or it's nighttime and they've been deactivated. So you have to take extra care. Now, imagine if the traffic lights stopped working at a pretty dangerous crossroads. It does happen sometimes, actually. Okay, let's park here. Oh, fuck. I don't think I get to park here with a load behind me, actually. Oh, I do. Okay, please stop moving. There we go. Yeah, let's rest until it's 6 o'clock. There we go. Daytime driving. Much better. But yeah. So, in summary, finally met up with my online friends. Reconnected with an old friend from several years ago. Got to be to volunteer in an improv hypno show on stage. What else? Got to just unashamedly walk around in my costume. So a lot of people in costume just having fun. Took pictures with them, took pictures of them, hugged them. I had the time of my life. And you only get one first convention experience in your life ever. And I'm so glad my first convention was an absolute success. So yeah. But yeah, I hope to go again and meet a lot of pleasant people. And if I meet someone unpleasant or someone I know who I don't like, I'll just ignore them. I just won't give them the time of day. I'm there for my friends. I'm there to have a good time. So yeah. And I think that's it pretty much. I think that was my entire convention story. So yeah. However, if anything of note comes up while I am playing, I will of course tell you about that. So yeah. I'm still kind of working through the post-con depression. My friend Slaver actually got home yesterday and he was exhausted. I won't really go into it too much, but he only had a few hours of sleep and he had like a half day's worth of travel with just one transfer more than me. So yeah, he was abroad for a while. I also gathered that Dusty managed to make his way home. So yeah, that's good. I think about right now, me and my friends have all safely made it home. So yeah. But yeah, post-con depression does suck. I was feeling sad for the past few days, but it does pass eventually, so yeah. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah. Again, if something comes up, I'll mention it. But yeah, I thought that it would be nice to like have some background Euro Truck Simulator 2 on in the background while I Yeah, but about my convention experience. And who knows, maybe I'll do the same thing next year. Jeez, I really need to take more sips of water. I am killing my throat. My throat is going to murder me. Dead ass. My ass has never been more dead. It's a little better. That was also a thing Slave War noticed. I need a lot of hydration because throat stuff. I tend to get a little slime in my throat, as you might have noticed from my past streams. And yeah, talking does kinda hurt my throat eventually. Though I think that goes for everyone. So yeah, that was fun. I am safely home again. My parents also came back. So yeah. And now I'm here. I'm back to streaming again. But I do have 2 weeks off and now I will have to wait like little under 2 weeks before I can tell my friends at the multimedia place about it. As well as my supervisor. Sheesh. I'm going to have so much to talk about with them. Although at least 2 of them have a Twitch. If they finally saw I was live, they could have come here and I could have, they could have like listened to me yap about the convention. Who knows? Although I don't think they are here. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. It was really fun just being there, seeing all those people, hanging out with my now best friend Slavor. So yeah. I also ended up drawing him something, as a little thank you gift for everything. Now it isn't exactly SFW, so I won't be showing it here, but let's just say me and him really bonded. Yeah. So, at least now I've done this before, so preparing for the next one is going to be way less stressful. We're all adults here. Okay. That's true. Although my streams are still kind of loosely SFW, with the occasional NSFW joke thrown in, but okay. I can get think I can get away with this one. So it's just a drawing of our personas tied up, wearing our best suits, back to back, and smiling and glancing at each other. That's what it is. Because those are things we're both interested in. So yeah, nothing wrong with that. Indeed, so. Although I do know my friend Syndroconic labels all of his streams as mature, and his space is a lot more king positive, but also he wants to be pretty careful so Daddy Twitch doesn't get upset. So yeah. His words, not mine. I refuse to call it Daddy Twitch. At least I think he was the one who said that. Yeah. But yeah, I'm back now. It's almost September. Okay, so full disclosure, I'm not planning to start any big Saturday series just yet, because it's almost time for Spooky Month, which is in October. So yeah. I'm still trying to figure out what games to play. I will, of course, kick it off with one game from Chiller's Art, as I do every year. So do expect that. But yeah, I'm also considering playing Luigi's Mansion for Spooky Month. It's not a really scary game, but it fits the, you know, it fits the Halloween season, so yeah. But I am planning to look at several roguelites I play. Well, not what I play, but that I've played or would like to play. And I'll be doing that over the course of September, although I will be revisiting The Binding of Isaac Rebirth on Saturday, because I had a lot of fun with that last time I played that. So yeah. To kick things off, that's the one I'll be playing first. And then a big Saturday series will start after Spooky Month. As for what I'm considering, well, I'm currently considering finally starting The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. So yeah, that's my plan right now. But that won't be until November. Actually, how many Saturdays are there in Spooky Month? Let's have a quick look-see. Okay. September's schedule looks like this. It has 5 Saturdays in it, okay. Ooh, that's... Oh, no, my bad. There's 4 Saturdays in September. October has 5. Well, damn. Okay, so, yeah. That's the thing, apparently. As it turns out, there's 5 Saturdays this spooky month, so I might need to organize something with some friends, maybe. Something multiplayer. Yeah. I might bring back Repo for one of the streams. As well. Assuming my boyfriend is okay with me tagging along with his friends for that once again. Also, other games I'm considering for Spooky Month include Project Zomboid. Because that's recently got its newest build released, so yeah. Will be playing that. And if the Endless Mode for Fight Night at Freighbass 3 releases in October, we will definitely have a look at that during Spooky Month as well. So yeah. The mainline Mario Marathon will likely go on hold for the duration of, yeah, Spooky Month, but to make up for that, I'll be playing Luigi's Mansion on Thursday, so yeah. Okay, we're headed for Ancona, so I should switch lanes to the left lane. There we go. Wow. I don't know how I managed it, but I have been yapping for like over an hour about the convention, so I had a lot to talk about apparently, so that's great. I've also seen other friends of mine have shown an interest at going to EuroFurence. I know both Siren and Sin want to go there, so it would be cool if, we could get the stream gang together one day. Would be nifty. I would not mind seeing them again. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing them for real. And yes, should that happen, there will be a picture of the 2 dolphins in suits, yeah, together. I promise. Okay. Wow, kinda already ran out of contour. I haven't even finished this, yeah, this cargo delivery yet. I should probably also mention I had English breakfast every morning at the hotel. And on my way back I was not able to get some lunch, but thankfully I was not running on empty, because English breakfast is incredibly filling, so yeah. I was not hungry at all, and my mom was kinda worried I would have been, but nah, I was fine, thankfully. So yeah. Okay, one more in-game hour until we've arrived at our destination in Italy, in Ancona. I'm not going to try pronouncing the name of that company because I don't want my Italian friend to kill me. Ha! Driver Balder G. I get it. Baldur's Gate. That's funny. Oh, and as for my legs, well, they are slowly recovering. Although it does still kind of hurt to get up occasionally. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, last week was amazing. At the time of my life, and nothing can ever take that experience away from me ever again. I feel like my life has forever changed for the better. Okay, so what other roguelites can we play? Okay, I have a few roguelites in my Steam library. Let's see. For example, Hades 2, I definitely bringing back. I have Crypt of the Necrodancer, including the amplified DLC. I love rhythm games, but it's a bit tough to play those on stream because what you'll be looking at is me focusing on the music and being mostly silent. That's not ideal for streaming. Because when you stream, people come for you. You don't do things like be quiet while dialogue is going on, because you're, say, streaming in Dutch while the game is in English. That's just not done. Yes, I'm throwing shade at my friend who was playing Pokemon Legends ZA on stream, and he was silent during the dialogue. All of the dialogue saying absolutely nothing, because it was in English, there's no voice acting, and he speaks in Dutch during his streams. Like, why? Like, people come for you. Don't be silent while you're streaming. Please. So yeah. Crypt of the Necrodancer, while I like the game, is not going to work on stream. Because it just does not fit with the way I stream. Hades 2, I'm definitely bringing back. I do want to do some more ear runs, like get increase my fear thresholds and get rewards for various weapons from the Oath of the Unseen. So yeah, there's that. I did really good last run I did of that, so yeah. Saint Draconic has recommended Enter the Gungeon to me, so I might look at that. I have this not very good roguelite in my Steam library called A Wizard's Lizard, which is an old one which got very little updates and is very underbaked. Might play that as an example of a game that's not very good. And Siren has been singing the praises of Everything is Crab, which I also want to look at. So yeah. Oh my gosh, my tummy is rumbly. Now where? Oh, I still have it set to the skilled parking spot. Oops. Can I change that, please? Uh. Okay, see, I was going for achievements, so that's why I switched it to safe, skilled parking. Now I have to back out of this place somehow. I'm not very good at driving in reverse with this. But it seems to be going fine. Why? Okay, there we go. Now we can pick the safe parking spot. I cannot handle everything, so yeah. Okay, careful, careful, careful. There we go. Why? Okay. While I go look for, because there's still plenty of time left, while I go look for another job. Thinking. Why is this guy messaging me? Okay. Alright. So, I hope everyone is still holding up just fine. Otherwise, I'm going to be sad. Okay, let me pick up a job that does not take me too far. To Albania, but that's a heavy load. I do not like heavy loads. I can take this trip to Bosnia-Herzegovina, but it's not a very long trip, I think. A trip to a Greece island, a Greek island. Sorry. Yeah, I think I'll go grab that. Sure. We'll bring a pretty light water tank there. Oh, actually, how far is it to to the depot? That's too far. Okay, I'm going to make sure I can very quickly, instantly get there. So that's right. We're gonna cheat. I'm going to teleport myself to the cargo depot so I can still pick up the cargo before it expires. So yeah, bear with me. I'll be flying us to the. I'll be teleporting myself to the depot so I can still yeah, and get the job. It should be over here. Yeah. Okay, Control F9. There we go. Rest assured that I shall not teleport myself to the destination once I've picked up the cargo. No, 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 no. There are limits. Hehe. Oh, Jindal, little question, because your name looks familiar to me, but do I recognize you from somewhere? Because I have a feeling I do. Admittedly, I've also not streamed in a week, so yeah. My memory is a little hazy. From Firecast stream, might have raided with each other. Oh yeah, that was when I was doing, you know, I think that was when I was doing the Binding of Isaac Rebirth. Yeah. Yeah, that was a few weeks ago. Right. Oh yeah, and Firecat was also part of that raid, yeah. Yes, Binding of Isaac. Okay, okay. You were that guy, okay. Well, in that case, hang on. Okay, let me just give a little shout out. There we go. There, go check him out. Because he's, yeah, he's nice. So yeah. Oh, and while we're at it, you saw... Thank you for the shout out. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Also, speaking of Firecat, you should also absolutely check him out. He does cooking on his streams. I can't really immediately shout him out just yet, because there's like a 5-minute cooldown on the command on Twitch. And I don't have automatic shoutouts for people who, yeah, come in and talk. Does cooking on the weekends? Yep. And he's pretty damn good at it as well, so yeah. You'll love to see it. I should follow his example, I can't cook at all. Like, there's a whole story behind that. Although, unlike my persona Bradford, I can rest you guys assured that I do not burn instant noodles. So yeah. Although, I was talking with Siren about that, and he tells me that he swears by the air fryer, and it's a really convenient thing to have if you live alone and you don't have time to cook, so I think that's a good investment. So yeah. I mean, I could learn to cook, but it's so scary. Like, I wanted to learn how to cook, my mum tried teaching me exactly once. Then my dad had to, but he kept making up excuses to not teach me. So eventually I said, you know what, never mind. And I've never tried cooking again. So yeah. Okay, so we're delivering this water tank to Argostoli in Greece, which is on a small island, slash is a small island. So yeah. But suspiciously the company is called Rock Eater, which is an English name. How strange. Also, to commemorate my trip in this very game, I actually gave all of the trucks in the Hamburg garage sort of furry-esque paint jobs. They have like several kinds of creatures on them. And then one of my garages in Poland, I've colored all of them after my friend's persona. So yeah, I turned Slaver into a truck, and there's nothing he could have done to stop me. So yeah, there's that. Shoot, we shouldn't have talked about cooking. Now I'm getting hungry. I know, it's a first world problem. Getting hungry because you talked about cooking. Oh, hey, Sunday driver. No, the only one who drives correctly in this game is me, because I said so. So yeah, there's that. Oh my gosh. And I won't be having food for at least another hour or another hour and a half. So yeah. Basically, oops, I gotta hang in there. Excuse me. Mm. Mm. Okay, I'm going to be honest, the scenery in this game compared to the scenery in American Truck Simulator does feel kinda samey sometimes. Although it used to be much worse in the base game areas before they got reworked. The Netherlands actually looks like the Netherlands now. Why? Man, I wish the real world could be scaled down to a 1 to 20 scale like the world in this game though. Would make it much easier to get places. Although it also means less living space on the world, so okay. I guess let's not shrink the Earth. That sounds like a bad idea. Man, now I'm getting a little drowsy because I've been talking so much. Although to be fair, it is a little bit hot again today. It's actually been cooler last week. But also summer is just about over, so things are about to cool down immensely. So yeah. Okay, that's some good water though. Also, fun little fact. Pretty much all of the tap water in Europe is drinkable. I've heard that in the US it tends to not be drinkable. Which just sounds inconceivable to me, but yeah. Although there's cool stuff that's possible in the US that is not possible over here. For example, you can turn right on the red light if you treat it like a stop sign, and if you're very careful. Over here in Europe, that's not allowed. You can only go on green unless there's a signpost that tells you going right for for cyclists is fine. Or if there's, you know, an extra lane on your right that, like, is like the kind of lane you would see on a turbo roundabout. Speaking of roundabouts, so there was a trend years ago where a lot of crossings with traffic lights would be replaced by roundabouts because they thought traffic lights were less safe. Nowadays, however, the opposite is happening. They're getting rid of roundabouts and replacing them with crossings with traffic lights on them because, as it turns out, roundabouts during peak hours are absolutely unsafe. So yeah. Hilarious. It's fine though, I always had a bit of a weird obsession with traffic lights when I was little, because I just like the pretty lights. So yeah. Even had a toy traffic light at one point that would alternate between its colors. Very nice. Trying to think if there's anything else very worthwhile I could mention about my con experience. Oh, right, so there was this one guy. His costume was a police uniform. Hilariously, my friend Dusty also has a police uniform themed after Zootopia as one of his costumes, although he was wearing a ringmaster costume for most of the convention. So, this one guy I ran into, the one with the police uniform, kinda looked like Dusty face-wise, so I mistook him for Dusty. As it turned out, it was not Dusty, so there was a hilarious blunder. I should mention, however, that Dusty did have his other costume with him, so yeah. Although I should have realized, because it did not have the caution do not pet warning on it. My mistake. Now, of course, that also meant I fell behind, so Slavor was like, dude, where were you? I was worried. So I told him about my little blunder, and he thought it was amusing. So yeah. Okay, in the video games department right now, okay, I do know I primarily stream retro games, but I do occasionally still play newer stuff, and I'm going to be honest, there's a bit of a drought on newer games right now, it seems. At least on the Nintendo side of things. Because here's the thing, right? I love Nintendo. Most of the games I stream are Nintendo games. But there's just not a lot of new stuff coming out that I'm interested in. Like, yes, there's that Fire Emblem game coming out. I'm not a fan of Fire Emblem. Its whole thematic stuff is not something I like, so yeah. I'm not a war kind of guy. I know it's just fantasy war, but yeah. Not a fan. I do have to say though, Splatoon Raiders and Rhythm Paradise Groove are both tough as nails. And where have you been, Nintendo? You still know how to make difficult games. I'm so happy. And they are pretty difficult, so I like it. Like, Rhythm Paradise I could go on for quite a while, because, okay, it gives you these simple instructions for how the minigame works, so then you'll be thinking, alright, I've got this is going to be easy. And then the game throws these curveballs at you, and yeah, it'll throw you off, you'll eventually make a mistake, and there goes your perfect run. And then there's a whole go for a perfect system, because occasionally the minigame you got as Superb on will be tagged for the perfect campaign, which gives you 3 chances to try and get a perfect on it. If you play 5 other games before trying that, then they'll switch to a different game. Yeah, Those lives are gone. Yeah, you have to wait until it gets selected again. And it only counts as a perfect if the minigame has been marked for the perfect campaign. So you get a perfect, right? Okay, nice. Then it challenges you to get 3 more perfects in a row without messing up. Yeah. Good luck doing that. You are pretty damn good if you can do that. But the game is not done yet. Because then it offers night mode. And you can go for a night perfect. Where the visuals are blacked out. Yeah, so you're basically doing the self-imposed blindfolded challenge. But it's now actually part of the game. So yeah. There's that. Now, what if I told you I successfully did so on one minigame? I got a night perfect on Disc Dog, which is admittedly an easy minigame, but I did it anyway. I can at least say I got one of them night perfects. And I'm pretty proud of myself for that. Oh, and I am of course planning to pick up the Ocarina of Time remake. And I'll do a wonderful of that on stream, because it was the very first game I even streamed, so yeah. So that's where my plans lie right now. Streams are back on the menu because my convention vacation is done, so yeah. Man, it was a great little vacation. I really need those extra 2 weeks off to, recover from all that. Maybe next year what I'll do is, first week, I'll stay at home. Second week, I'll go to the convention. And then third week, I'll stay at home, because then I'll be able to get used to the vacation mood a little. And then I have a week of recovery time after that. So yeah. But also, let's be real here, maybe I will need all of those 2 weeks to recover after a convention, because oh boy. I might also start going back to the gym again. Because my buddy wants me to. Thinks it's a bit silly that after the pandemic ended I didn't go back. And also he wants me to eat my vegetables more often. Like, sure, Jan. I do not like the taste and the mouthfeel of most vegetables, if I can be honest. I don't know why, but I just don't. How far is our destination anyway? Okay, still a ways to go through Italy. Now it says it's about 20 more hours of in-game time away. That's a lie. A lot of that is the boat cruise, because we're taking a ferry to Greece. And that's time it counts. So yeah. So, not to worry. Everything will be fine. We will finish this delivery before the stream ends. Or my name is not Bradford Bottlenose. Which it is. So yeah. Man, I'm itchy. I don't like it when I get itchy. Excuse me. Okay, so yeah. I'm also going to be honest, I don't know what I will be doing next week on Tuesday. So that's something I'll have to figure out. Not more truck sim, of course, because I usually play these games to, you know, if I am in the mood for something chill. So yeah. And right now, that's today, because I wanted something chill to make it easier for me to talk about my con experience. So yeah, there's that. Okay, I'll need to take a right here, towards Bari. And I needed that sip of water, oh boy. Oh, Taranto, sorry, I thought that said Toronto. But that's impossible because we're in Italy, not Canada. Speaking of Canada, they are going to be adding British Columbia to American Truck Simulator very, very soon indeed. So yeah, that'll be fun. I think. Yeah. Okay. Seemed like my mic was not picking up my humming according to OBS. So that's a little strange. Okay, why am I being pinged on Discord so much? Well, fine, I'll check that out later. I'm driving, you know what they say about texting and driving? Don't. Like, one of my ex-boyfriends used to do that. You might be wondering why it's my ex-boyfriend. Okay, that's not the reason. The reason was actually something completely different. But yeah. He would just text and drive with me, like sending me silly memes while he was driving. I knew this because he also had the camera turned on. So I saw he was in the car. Yeah, like, don't do that. It's like, oh, don't worry, I'll be fine. And like, dude, you're texting and driving. That doesn't seem fine to me. Also, yeah, I do love the dolphin paint job on my truck. Lovely stuff. Okay, why am I getting so many pings? There's like 5. I don't get that many on Discord on the average day. Oh well, let's not worry about that. Let's just worry about getting this delivery to our destination on time. Okay, okay. We're almost at the seaport, I think. But yeah, several places in Europe can easily be reached by ferry. When I say a lot, I do mean a lot. Like the UK is like an island, and so is Ireland. If you live on mainland Europe, you are not reaching those without a boat or taking the Channel Tunnel or the Channel, if you will, which is a tunnel where you get which there's a train line going through it, which can take you to yeah, there. So yeah, and of course Italy has the island of Sicilia as well as Sardinia. Well, there's Corsica for France, and Greece has several islands. So yeah. And the next DLC we are getting for this game is Iceland, which is also an island. Yeah. Though despite being called Iceland, it does not have a lot of ice on it. Like, it's not a rock of floating ice in the ocean. No, it's more well known for the fact that there's a massive volcano in the center. So then if you look at the map of Iceland, you see like all the roads running on like alongside the outer edge of it and very rarely going inwards to like more inland. Even the capital of Reykjavik is like on the coast somewhere. Yeah, after I finish this cargo job, I'm calling it, I think. Oh. Okay, since the physics updates both truck sim games had, the truck tends to not immediately come to a stop, which is really annoying. But yeah. So sometimes it just still slightly rolls. Trailer damage, oh come on. Girl, please. Okay, waiting for another red light. Okay then. Okay, before I wrap this up, I should also mention that I've had several friends that were like, I'm very worried about me going to a convention and wanted me to stay safe, and friends thinking I was not going to enjoy it, as well as family, because of all the people that would be there. It ended up being fine, sure. The noise and the people were a bit much. I mean, there were over 9,000 people. But I still think it was worth it because I got to see my friends, so yeah. I just have to be aware that my feet are going to hurt when I get back. Okay, but enough con talk. I can keep yapping about it, but yeah. I've pretty much said everything I wanted to say about it. At least I think. I did of course miss my friends that I knew from back home as well, that I know on Twitch and such. What? Why? How do we get stuck like that? That's weird. That's weird and I don't like it. Okay, let's go set sail. We're going to Greece, we're going to... Let me double check. To Argostoli. We might need to make a stop over here. I'll see what happens. The map's a little confusing about this, it seems. Also, if you somehow thought this game with all of its map expansions wasn't enough for you, Promods has expanded it even further. As well as, what else? As well as several other areas being added by it that are not even being considered by SCS software right now. So yeah. Like, it adds the aforementioned Iceland as well as islands. Also, for some reason, adds the Isle of Man, part of the UK. And the very northern Norwegian island of Svalbard. Wow, I should have to stop at this place first before I can go to my destination. Sheesh. Okay then, taking a boat. Then taking another boat. Assuming this is the correct one. I took the wrong one. Great. Okay, now if we go to Bari first. Oh, this is going to cost me so much delivery time. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to be making this delivery in time, sadly. Because I messed things up and I'm about to mess things up more, it seems. Yeah, I need to go to Argos Stories, that's so difficult. Okay, deliver me please. Why won't it let me go to Argostoli where I need to go? Oh, oops, I didn't mean to embark to Trieste. Damn it, completely mess everything up once again. Yeah, our delivery is late now. Okay. Well, it seems that somehow I messed everything up in a trucking game. Okay, fine then. Let's start it. Where do we even start from here? Maybe we'll go to Patras first. I can go to the place I need to go. I really want to wrap this up as soon as possible because, oh boy. I never had a seriously terrible job experience in a game like this one. Like, look at this, we're 33 hours late. Okay, fuck it. I don't remember the teleport command, but... Okay. You know what? Well, I'll struggle to figure this out. I think you'll get the point. So, I'll have to have a look-see at what I'll be doing next week on Tuesday, but on Thursday, in fact, let me look for a raid real quick, just for someone to raid. On Thursday, I'll be back with Super Mario 64, because the mainline Mario Marathon is back on the menu. And on Saturday, we'll be playing the Binding of Isaac Rebirth once again. Or Repentance, whatever you want to call it, really. So, yeah, let's see as usual live. Okay. Go to my followers, and... Dizzy Dennis hasn't been live for very long. Why don't we go say hi to him? He's currently playing Pac-Man World Repack 2. Okay, yeah, let's raid out to Dizzy Dennis. Thanks for watching. Now get out of my house, and I'll see you all next time.